Okay, lesson 6.3 in Algebra 2, we've learned a whole bunch of properties of exponents, but I'd like to review them with you right now. Take a look at the top of the page here. If we are multiplying x to the m times x to the n, I hope you remember this is where we would add our exponents. We just take 1x, raise it up to the m plus n. Then when we have x to the m raised to the n power, powers to powers are more powerful. This is when you would multiply your powers together. And if we jump over here to property number 3, if we ever saw x to the m divided by x to the n, this is where we're going to subtract. We'll have x to the m minus n. One last thing to review, if I gave you x to the negative n, x to the negative n, of course, meant take a reciprocal. And we could say that's really 1 over x to the n. What we're really getting at, guys, is that negative exponents, as we said before, change the floor a term lives on. If it's upstairs, bring it downstairs. If it's downstairs, bring it upstairs. But after you make that move, turn your power into a positive. So really a nice section today to review what we're doing and to go a little bit further. Hopefully you know that as you're looking here with example 1, if I just have x, that's x to the first power. And very quickly, guys, this is looking, I hope, like which property that you see up above, 1, 2, 3, or 4. It looks like the first one, right? You've got all these x's multiplied together. You just happen to have 3 of them instead of just 2. So I'm going to use that property 1 and add all of these powers together. Sorry, my pen was having a little bit of a delay there. But you could say 2 plus 1 plus negative 5. Well, 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus negative 5, you'd actually get a negative 2. Now, would we leave our answer like that?
No.
No way. No way. You can't have a negative exponent. This is where we're going to go to property number 4 here. Every time you've got a negative exponent, we're going to go ahead and take a reciprocal. We're going to go 1 over x to the second, and then we're done. So that's very typical of what you're going to see on this new lesson today. You're going to do a lot of what you were doing last week. It's just that your answer will probably have a negative exponent, and then you'll have to take a reciprocal. As we're looking at number 2, I hope you can see it's this third property that we wrote at the top of the screen here. Down below, we really have x to the 1. And when you see this fraction, it really means subtract your exponents. Top power, that's negative 10, minus your bottom power of a 1. So really, we have top power, negative 10, minus our bottom power of 1. Negative 10 minus 1, that's really what? X to the negative 11. Now, can we leave our answer like that?
No.
No way.
Never.
We got to take a reciprocal. We're going to go 1 over, and then we make that x to the 11. Okay? Very much in line with what we just saw a second ago.
Wait,
yeah.
So the fraction is subtraction.
The fraction is subtraction. You almost have a rhyme right there, right?
It is a rhyme.
Okay, so let's take a look right here, and we're going to get to that same principle in just a moment. Now, number 3, I do want to tell you this much. If you see the 2 numbers written as a fraction, just divide them as normal. If you had 6 divided by 2, you'd just say it's 3. But using that same property that we did just a moment ago, we're going to say, well, we're going to use subtraction. You see that fraction? It means subtraction, like you just said. Negative 1 minus negative 2. Now be careful right there. It's that minus the negative 2 that sometimes kids forget about. And then we're going to have our y. Well, we're going to say top power is negative 5 minus our bottom power is a 7. Now, negative 1 minus a negative 2, well, You can always feel free to use your calculator to help you out, but minus a negative, I hope we all know it's just going to convert into a positive. So I still got my 3 out here. Negative 1 plus 2 is just going to be a positive 1. Negative 5 minus 7 becomes a negative 12. Now, could we leave our answer like this? No. Anytime you have a negative exponent, you have to make one more switch. How many terms have to get moved here, though? Just one. Just one. Just the negative exponent. Don't move the 3. Don't move the x to the 1. Only move the term with the negative exponent. Okay, I know sometimes kids will say, oh, I have to take a reciprocal. And there's some kids who want to start taking reciprocals of every variable. And you don't do that. You only take a reciprocal of negative exponents. Okay? As we come down here to number 4, wow, this one, the ongoing issue of squaring negatives. This is going to be negative 5 squared. A power to a power, we multiply, right? That's actually this second property right here. A power to a power, we could say it's more powerful. We multiply them together. We were doing that last week too. But I guess what I really want to warn you is if you're squaring a negative, you need parentheses around that. Negative 5 times negative 5, of course, is going to get you a positive 25, right? And then negative 3 times 2, you get negative 6. Then you've got c to the 8th. Now, the big question is, can we leave our answer like that? No. How many terms get moved?
1.
Just the 1. Just the b. Just the b. Don't move anything else. Only take reciprocals of negative exponents. Okay? And then we're done. All right, last one. Last one here. And again, please watch out. I think so very often kids will correctly want to do, the powers to powers, and that's good. That's definitely good. You have negative 2 times negative 3. Down below, we're going to have a 4 to a negative 3. Wow, that's going to be something. And down here, we're going to say negative 5 times negative 3. There's a lot going on here. This is going to be the toughest. But I just want to do a little bit of cleaning up first. See, look, negative 2 times negative 3, that's going to become p to the 6. Down below, negative 5 times negative 3 is a positive 15. But guys, I guess what I want to show you is that 4 to the negative 3 down here, that negative exponent, you could raise it up now. Right? Anytime you have a negative exponent, at the end of the day, please understand that means change the floor you live on. Okay? That's what taking a reciprocal means. If it's downstairs, bring it upstairs. If it's upstairs, bring it downstairs. Now, 4 to the 3rd, of course, if you multiply 4 to itself 3 times, you're actually going to get 64. And you could quickly do that on the calculator. But there's one last remaining issue. You'd say, well, what about this p to the 6 all over p to the 15th? This is where you got to subtract, right? 6 minus 15 is going to get you negative 9. And then you got to move it. So that's 64 over p to the 9th. And guys, that's it for our lesson.